What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you, well, with another market watch today. Before I begin, I just want to say, this is my website, YGOPaisano.myshopify.com, and today's the last day it's going to be available. I'm going to be taking it down, updating it, getting it ready for when the new stuff comes in, and then once that's available, I'll make an announcement on this channel. So, if there's anything else you want to pick up, get it today. After today, there's no chance to get anything up until roughly around, hopefully, a week or two before everything comes in. I can reload the website with all the new stuff. So definitely check it out. All right. So with the market watch, obviously, Dimension Force has been out. And now we're in Thursday. Now, this is when the prices start to decline. We talked about this before. We'll talk about it right now because it's happening. Obviously, with all the Starlights, I mean, shocker, they're declining. Not that they won't naturally decline. Whenever a new core set comes out, Starlights naturally decline a little bit, depending how much play they actually see. With Dimension Force and the fact that Konami made a mistake / did they make a mistake, or did the store just get a bunch of Starlight rares because they're just that lucky? You let me know. The value of a lot of Starlights are going down because players aren't really caring about it as much. With that said, cards like Alba Lenitis, which held a market price of $225, is down to roughly around $190 and going lower. I mean, it is in free fall right now. Look at that. Even in the past month, free fall right now in the price point, having it as high as $250 and seeing it drop, it's once again not a big shocker to anybody. Theron King regulars beginning of the week was roughly around what, $80 I think it was. Now it's roughly around $77. This card will start going down in value. Once again, I'm not saying the card's bad. I'm just saying the price point doesn't sustain its value. Like, it doesn't make any sense for it to be at this price point. Theron Leary Borea, though, has not went down. Actually increased a little bit in price. Kind of shocking. More shocking is the fact that Beyond the Pendulum actually is going down. We know with Beyond the Pendulum coming out, Pendulums will start seeing a lot more play. And it's not that, like, they're not seeing a lot more play. They are. It's just a lot of decks can beat them a lot easier. It almost begs the question, should Electro Knight come off the ban list? It's a good question, to be honest with you. I think it should. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Up next, hey, there he is. Let's click on him. Let's go check him out. Alba Lenitis is now declining in value. Last week's card price point was roughly around, I believe, $35, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the price point of this card right now. I mean, it's at $22. It's not terrible, but it is going down in value. Once again, like I said, this card is a great card. Don't get me wrong. Let's not get it twisted. I'm a big fan of branded, but I'm also not a big fan of just wasting money. Alba Lenitis is going to be going down. Once again, it will be hitting $5. And once again, it's not because it's a bad card. It's because it's a card that's not a main needed card. A lot of players are replacing this card with their third copy of that branded Albion. That's what they're doing. They're just replacing this with that one. That's it. 2 seconds. Can they go into this? Of course. Is it a good card to go into? Yes. Can it be done consistently? No. No, it cannot. And that's why we're seeing this card being at this current price point. That's another reason why we're seeing the Starlight go down as well. I mean, the Starlight goes down. Wouldn't it make sense for the Secret to go down? Of course it would. The price of points will continue to be dropping, by the way. Dino Masher Frenzy actually is maintaining good value. It's an ultra rare that's currently $9. As well as Therion Discosseum, another card right there. Once again, if you pull these cards, I highly recommend you sell them unless you're using them. I would definitely recommend you unload those cards. So keep an eye out for those cards if you pull them at all. All right. Listen, I said it before that I will explain what deck can beat Despias. Here it is. There it all is. Well, right here. Ignisters are really good against Despias. Don't get me wrong. Yes, if you make a 4K Ignister monster, a good Despia player can beat over it. Can they beat over 5? Can it beat over 6? No, they can't. All you need to do is make this guy right here a rival on a 6, and you basically win the game. Now, with new Despias, they're not playing any hand traps. So if you go first with your Ignisters, and you make a 6 rival Ignister with no hand traps, congratulations, you win. If you're going second, it's a lot harder, but there are builds that can, kind of play around that. You can play cards like Mystic Mind and wear your opponent out. You can play a Lightning Storm, and yeah, you can definitely do that, and just, once again, blow your opponent's backer out, do your full combo, and then, what are you going to do? Or you could go into Axial Talker and kill your opponent. Ignitus is probably one of the best decks to beat Despia. As a great Sword Soul matchup. If you want to see any build, go check out my buddy Zohair Khan hit his build. We talked about this deck for a while, and yeah, this is probably the best deck in the game right now to give you the greatest matchup against Despias and against Sword Souls. With that said, and I just said that, so you know I mean it. With that said, the minute Yu-Gi-Oh players realize the fact that this deck is really good against that, they can easily counter this deck. There are easy ways to counter Ignisters. And I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players can quickly realize what those are. I might not mention it today. I'll wait a while. I'll let people suffer a little bit in case anyone does have this and wants to play at their locals. But there's a lot of easy ways to counter this deck. And once you can figure that out, this deck is the buy. But until then, hey, you lose to it. Seriously, it's really hard to get around this deck. Once again, the Rival Cyber's Ignister is definitely a pain to get around. And even still, like, I feel like this deck, even when a lot of people know how to play against it, it's still a rough deck to play against. So keep an eye out for that. But, yeah, Ignisters, that's the answer. All right, Crossout Designator had a quick spike and then went down in value. What happened? It started seeing play in the main deck for a lot of Destiny players, then started seeing play in the side deck. Yu-Gi-Oh players that play Crossout Designator realistically only played it last meta because they had played it in 60-card decks, and it was in the main. Well, now it's in the side, and that means, and some many players aren't even playing this card at all because now it's an option. That's why it's in the side deck. So the value obviously is dropping. Previous highs of this card has this card being roughly around $48. The value of this card currently is $38. All right, Baron DeFle. This card is just, I mean, breathe. Baron DeFle right now with the current market price is roughly around almost there, $140. Listen, not too long ago the card was barely hitting 100, and then boom, it's 140. Why is that? Well, because Sword Soul players, they don't kind of need Baron DeFle. You need it. Like, you're a Sword Soul player, you're not playing Baron. Okay, cool, but like, that's like going into war and going, I don't need my boots or socks. I'll just walk barefoot on the battlefield. All right, soon to be injured guy, easy target, whatever you want to call yourself. Like, you're not doing it right. You need Baron DeFle, unfortunately. I'm not crazy about this card. I actually own it. I might be selling it. I don't know. Not so keen on Baron DeFle. At its price point. Not that the card's not good. The card's insane. But I feel like this card, it's begging to get a reprint. Will it happen? Mystical Space Typhoon Ultimate Rare at Astro Pack 8 is insanely valued. Like, a lot. Hey, listen, you get an Italian Ulti MST? Look at that. Tifone Speciale, Mistico, $157. By the way, after that place it sells, the next one, once again, there it is right there, is $174. And that's it. That's all there is. Ultimate MSTs were at a weird price point. In fact, can we go back 6 months? They was roughly 160. They went as low as 152. And now they're just about cleaned out in the market. Why is that? Simple. If you look at Spanish Nationals, the deck that won Spanish Nationals wasn't branded, it wasn't Ignisters, and it definitely was not Sword Souls. What was it? Flunderies. Flunderies won Spanish Nationals. What does that mean? Well, to be honest with you, it kind of validated cards like MST being in the side deck. MST, one of the best cards to get rid of your opponent's zombie world if you're playing against branded. You MST a zombie world, what are they gonna do? End phase MST? That's still a thing though, and Yu-Gi-Oh players are gonna start relearning about that real quickly. I think MST is a phenomenal card. I'm glad it's starting to see a lot more play in decks like Flunderies. Even though I'm not crazy about Flunderies, it's cool to see MSTC play in Flunderies. And I do think for a lot of other decks out there, like, I don't know, Sword Souls, MST hitting a Sword Soul Blackout, pretty good cardboard. Obviously this card's gonna see a lot more play, and that's why it's been bought out. Now, if you don't have Ultimate Rares, which, I mean, you can get them, Typhoon, you can still get the Ghost Rares. They're $17. They look really nice. That's from mod play, actually. First edition Ghost Rares are going to run you, limited Ghost Rares are going to run you $22. Still not bad for a Ghost Rare MSTA. It looks really clean. You got the Hobby League ones. I'm not sure if you're allowed to play those. I don't think you are. And then you got the original prints as well as the DTs, DT MST. All right. So, once again, this is seeing play because of Flunders. That's the only reason. Will this continuously play? No. Will it go back in the market? Sure. But that's not going to happen before this price point of Ultimate MST is going to be cleaned out. It's still rising, and the only reason it has any kind of moderate price point is because of the Italian versions. Lols. Alright. Then we have Toon Chaos. I love this set. I thought it was such a phenomenal set. I don't think that any other future Collector's Rare set can match this. And currently, to date, no Collector's Rare set that can match Toon Chaos whatsoever. With that said, Toon Chaos has a lot of great cards, and it has cards like Collector's Rares, Pot of Extravagance, and Pot of Desires. Now, I'm more interested in Extravagance, we'll talk about that later, and Desires is not bad, but whatever, but a lot of these cards are still really good. In fact, a lot of these cards, I think, will have crazy future value. So if you want to invest in anything, if you are looking to invest in something, I would say old Toon Chaos CRs. Chaos Valkyrie is currently 41, and sees a little bit of play. Chaos Duelist is $13 as a CR. That is highway robbery. You got also Toon Bookmark, it's because of Toons, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because cards like Toon Kingdom, Ultimate Rare at OTS Tournament Pack 14, realistically, is undervalued. The card's currently $44 in price point for an Ultimate Rare at an OTS Tournament Pack 14, whereas Toon Bookmark CR is $50. The reason why I want to say that is because this card's almost a mainstay card for Toons. Now you're probably saying, V, why do I want Toons? I don't care about Toons. You shouldn't. But why do I have a playset of Ultimate Rare Toon Kingdom? Simple. Because collector Yu-Gi-Oh! Players want everything from the TV show. And yes, whereas collector players are slowly moving into GX and 5D era cards, original Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards will always maintain the highest value. Why? Simple. They're hard to get. They're insanely hard to get. Now, if it's from the original show, but relatively new, that might not be worth a lot of money. But if it's hard to get, like an OTS Tournament Pack 14, well, that's different. That's obviously going to be worth a lot more money. So, because collectors can't obviously just go crack a pack, pull it, and see if they get it. You have to actually participate in Yu-Gi-Oh! Events and hopefully have the luck, the fortunate luck, or unfortunate, depending on how you look at it, of getting a Toon Kingdom. So, once again, I think this is a really good buy. I'm staying with this card. I actually might pick up more of these. I don't know. I think Ultimate Rare Toon Kingdoms are super undervalued. Little fun fact about Toon Kingdom: the regular rare one at one point was like hitting $10. It's currently $8. There is an Ultra Rare. It's like $6, and the Secret Rares are like 13s. But Ultimate Rare is obviously the best version of it. And once again, like I think it's a great buy. Okay, then we have Blackboard Chaos. This card has Tank. Has it? Well, kinda. Defined Tank, I mean, $82 for a while. It was pre-selling when it first came out, like $158, and then it immediately went down to like $83. The current price point of this card is $74. This is still a really good card. I feel like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players kind of like put this card to the side because of Despias existing, and Despias can't run this card. I get that, but like a lot of decks can run this card really well, to be honest with you, and a lot of decks have a problem with beating this card. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good card. I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting how good this card is, and more than likely will slowly remember it. It's one of those cards everyone needs to have. You need to have it despite the fact that you might not be using it right now, because it could still be meta relevant. So keep an eye out for this card. If you have one, cool. If you don't have one, you might want to consider picking one up. Alright, DONNA vs. Pregatops Collector's Rare is a card that's kind of went down in value. DONNA vs. Pregatops right now, current price point is $111. After that one sells, $124 for DONNA vs. Pregatops. Why is it going down in value? Well, to be honest with you, every deck in the meta right now has a set side deck. And DONNA vs. Pregatops' speciality is, in a meta in which a side deck isn't set, it becomes card number 15 in your side deck. Being the fact that every side deck is done, it doesn't become a card anymore. Okay, sure. Will it see play in the future? I think we can confidently say yes. Is there a Secret Rare version? Sure. But Secret Rare is not as good as CR. CR is a lot harder to get, and especially with Ancient Guardians being a set that's going to be slowly more and more in the past, CR becomes that much more better of a card. I'm just telling you right now, if you don't have your CR Pregatops and you want to have high value cards in the future, you're going to be paying primo dollar, even more so than the most primo dollar at this card's peak, which is roughly around $137. Why did my voice do that? Alright, then we have, well, let's talk about Pot for a minute. Now, the reason I want to be talking about these cards, obviously, because of Flunderies, because I have a newfound interest in Flunderies, because my gorgeous Imperium Duelist Flundery deck box, which you can't see. It's here. I just feel like, what is this? What? I'm just holding this for the rest of the video now. All right. And well, okay, you can see cards in it. All right, that's not as fun though. Okay, so my green Imperium Duelist deck box behind a green screen, mind you, same color. All right, I'm playing Flunderies lately. I'm slowly building Flunderies. I'm not really playing Flunderies. Have I went to the dark side? No, but I'm playing with it. All right. Looking at one of the cards it uses is obviously going to be Power Duality. Now, if you want the highest rarity Power Duality, it's going to be Ultimate Rare Power Duality out of Astro Pack 5. Obviously, the price point has spiked a little bit. Price point of Power Duality right now is $275 a copy. Friend prices, some might say. Well, obviously, you can't get that. So, what's the next highest valued Power Duality? Simple. The Secret Rare out of Duelist Revolution. Now, secret versions of Pod Duality have also increased exponentially. We're going to go over here and look at Name It and Let You Play, so we can look at Unlimited. Unlimited versions are 49s, and if you want to get a first edition version of Pod Duality, it's going to run you starting at 53. Just pay $4 extra. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. All right, so that's Pod Duality in a nutshell. Besides the crazy high Ultimate Rares, the Secret Rares are getting up there in value. They used to be like $20. All right, so let's talk about Pod Desires. Pod Desires recently went to 2. Ultimate Rare versions of Pod Desires, by the way, have increased a little bit as well. They used to be like roughly around $55, $54 to $55 for Ultimate Rare Pod Duality, which is insane, by the way. The current price on this card right now is $85. To Retreat Your Blood, I get it. It makes sense. Looking at the CR versions of Pod Duality, which I think are just not as good, personally speaking. Unlimited is roughly around $70. If you want to get a first edition version, where's the first edition? First edition version is at $125 to $130 for a CR. A CR to me is a silver medal where people are being handed out gold medals. It says, yes, I do like this card. I do have a silver medal, but I'm second place. In France, that's the first loser. Listen, CRs aren't as bad, but if I had a chance between a Pod Duality Ulti or a CR, what are you going to choose? The Ulti. It looks better. It's blinged out, and it's harder to get. Well, kinda, sorta. Toon Chaos was relatively hard to get in general as well, and first and Toon Chaos CRs are still hard to get. With that said, what's better, once again, a CR and Ulti? The Ulti is the answer. But let's not discount the secret rare version of Pod Desires. Pod Desires secret right now, name and first editions are $18. So, we're going to have a future in which you have a couple of options. You have the Ultimate Rare Pod Duality, Pod Desires, the CR Pod Desires, or the Secret Rare. Obviously, if you cannot buy the Ultimate Rare, you definitely can't buy the CR. So if you can't buy those two, why would you get the Secret Rare versions? Right now, they're currently on the value, and I do think they are the one to pick up because they're going to be rising in value. You're going to see the most increase in value with the Secret version from Dark Illusion of Pod Desires. As far as the other two, what's the best one? Once again, Ultimate Rare. Like, what? Imagine rocking a CR Pod Desires. Cool. It's adorable. Here's Ultimate Rare. You can tell it's Ultimate Rare because it's everywhere in the card. I don't know. I just think it looks better. I do like CRs, though. All right. Then we have Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance Secret Rare is the play. Right now, the card is roughly around $23. $20 for a pot of Extravagance to me is a steal. Now, yes, you can go ahead and get a CR version of Pot of Extravagance, but the CR version of Pot of Extravagance used to be $100. They actually are rising. They're roughly around $145. So it's up to you. Do you want to pay $145, or do you want to pay, well, not that much? Currently $23. Yes, there's other versions of Pot of Extravagance. But, you know, the second best one probably is going to be from the 10 Lost Memories. That's like $9 to $10. Just spend a little extra money, get the original print Secret Rare. That's a harder to get one. With that said, if you want the best one, it's probably going to be CR. Now, that's only because that's available. I still think Konami made an Ultimate Rare Pot of Extravagance. That would be the best one. All right. Now looking at Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge. This set is cooling down from a crazy price spike. What I mean by that is cards like Cyber Emergency was going for roughly around 25 to 30s. Any of the Family Night cards were just money, pure money. They still are, by the way. And then you got Ultras like Silent Judgment, which are 7s, which are still kind of money. This set is still cooling down. And it's a great time to go and talk about what cards are good to buy in this set, because these kind of sets, the Battles of Legend sets, have good value. But instead of wasting another minute of your time just talking about the market, I want you to comment down below. What is your favorite card right now that nobody's looking at? Mine's is definitely in this set. I think there are a lot of great undervalued cards right now in this set. But listen, maybe we'll talk about this and say this for a next video. But let me know, which your favorite card out of any of the sets, any of the cards right now in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's kind of undervalued, that people aren't just not looking at. Comment down below and let me know. It's your boy V. And you boys also have a great day.